From the brand that says never big enough, we're jumping into Turkesterone with Merica Labz. That's right, Hollow Point, the newest muscle builder from Merica Labz, is jumping in on the controversial Turkesterone ingredient, and I am once again here to talk about, is it going to be helpful? Well, we've got a lot of data to get through, as you come to expect from PricePlow. Only the truth, the data-backed science on the ingredients. We're talking about a 3-ingredient product here today. And when it comes to muscle builders, there's not a lot out there that is actually fully backed by science. And that's why we're interested in seeing a muscle builder from the team at Merica Labz, also known as the team from Core and Arms Race Nutrition. These guys only use the backed ingredients, the tried and true, the things that we're actually confident in. So seeing a muscle builder come from them obviously gets us interested. Now we're going to be talking about 3 main ingredients in here, and really 2 of them are the active ones making muscle building possible. Adjuga turkestanica, standardized to 10% turkesterone at 1,000 milligrams, and epicatechin at 300 milligrams, standardized to 90% epicatechin. So we're getting 100 milligrams of turkesterone here. We're getting 270 milligrams of epicatechin. But obviously there's some other things included in those botanical extracts that we're going to be talking about today. So let's get into it and talk about whether or not these are going to work for you. Now, obviously, turkesterone is the talk of the town for 2022. And honestly, I don't know anyone who has presented the data as in-depth as PricePlow has. If you've been on the blog, if you've been through our videos, you know that I and Mike have spent loads of time going through studies as far back as Soviet studies and as recent as 2019. Now, there's 2 things that we need to talk about when we talk about turkesterone. Research on whole plant extracts, which include known muscle building agents like ectosterone already, and research on turkesterone itself. Now, this is an anabolic compound found in Adjuga turkestanica. So we know that this extract is standardized 10% for turkesterone. We don't know about the content of these other things in there like ectosterone, which we know definitely are present and helpful in some way as well. So we have to talk about those 2 factors there when we talk about an ingredient like this. Now, if you're new to this, let's talk a little bit more in beginner terms. So Adjuga turkestanica is the overall extract, right? And it contains many phytoectosteroids. These are plant androgens. These regulate reproduction and development of plants. Now, this is similar to our own testosterone, the androgen that we mainly see as a main sex hormone for ourselves. It still regulates reproduction, development, muscle, a whole bunch of different factors for humans. Now, similar to our own testosterone, these are also synthesized from cholesterol. And so you'll see turkesterone and testosterone are structured very similarly. And why this matters is because many of these phytoectosteroids are able to interfere with estrogen, displacing estrogen from the receptor, which can and then in turn promote anabolic effects. Now, early animal research backed this up, giving rats phytoectosteroids, again, a class of compounds that includes turkesterone, not specifically turkesterone yet, led to lower serum estrogen levels, and most of these phytoectosteroids don't seem to interact with androgen receptors at all. So that leads some researchers to think they won't yield negative feedback effects of stronger anabolics, like when we talk about testosterone and a lot of other PEDs that interact with the androgen receptor modulator and then shut us down, shut down our own testosterone production, which is obviously a negative effect that then has to be either mitigated or is a reason to not use it at all. Most users of these PEDs will need a PCT post or some sort of help, like a testosterone base, while using PEDs to support their own systems because they're shutting down testosterone production. Now, there are at least 8 known ectosteroids found in Adjuga turkestanica. The most prominent of them is going to be ectosterone. Now, this is probably the most popular one outside of turkesterone right now. It's definitely very helpful. It's very well backed by the data. So between ectosterone and turkesterone, these are 2 extremely well known of the 8 known ectosteroids in this extract. Most of the research lies in ectosterone. We have human clinical research in ectosterone. So for people who are saying that there's not really human data on turkesterone, you're not far off, but there is human data on a similar phytoectosteroid that is found in the extract as well. In animal models, we've seen ectosterone reduce serum estrogen levels while increasing IGF, resulting in increased muscle fiber size. We've actually had to track down research from Russian journals in the late 1990s and translate them over, but that showed anabolic activity in ectosterone as well as turkesterone impressively. Both studies showed these compounds outperforming well-known anabolic androgenic steroids, like D-bol itself was outperformed by ectosterone and turkesterone. Now, in humans research, German researchers published a study in 2019 showing just as much potential in collegiate athletes getting either placebo, 12 milligrams per day, or 48 milligrams per day of ectosterone. Again, most of the research is going to be in ectosterone. We know that it is found in this extract. We just don't know how much. These researchers were so impressed by the results that they actually stated this project demonstrates the performance-enhancing effect of ectosterone in humans. Thus, our results strongly suggest including ectosterone in class S1 anabolic agents. Now, as of right now, when we're publishing this video in 2022, this actually hasn't been added to that list being a banned PED for sports. So kind of interesting to note. Now, in terms of turkesterone, the actual standardized 4 compound in this extract, there's less research on it, but potentially still insane gains from it. In 1998, researchers in Uzbekistan tested turkesterone against D-bol, and the results were insane. 2 different turkesterone samples outperformed D-bol in terms of body mass and organ increases. You can see it in the data that we'll put up on this video. Now, we definitely want to see more data, especially in humans, especially bioavailability data, especially safety data. We definitely want to see more. But as of right now, what we have does give us a pretty interesting conversation and clearly some level of promise of results. So much so that on our original content on turkesterone, we definitely recommend blood work before and after to see how your body responds, if it shuts down at all, if you have any side effects that need to be mitigated against. Now, with all that being said, there's other ingredients in this product that we also have to talk about, like epicatechin. Epicatechin is often seen as a myostatin inhibitor, but I'm also looking at this as a nitric oxide booster. Now, epicatechin has a lot of different health benefits: greater nitric oxide production, leading to greater blood flow, reduced myostatin levels, improved insulin sensitivity, better lipid levels, and lower blood pressure. I'm most interested in this for the nitric oxide boosting. I think that there's a really great benefit there. You don't necessarily have to take this pre-workout. Blood flow overall is really important for recovery, growth, and a whole bunch of different factors of delivering nutrients to the muscle. That said, there's nothing wrong with taking this pre-workout, because who doesn't love more pump in the gym? In terms of this, researchers have seen 54% greater serum nitric oxide levels when participants ate at least 30 grams of dark chocolate, which is a 70% cocoa per day, compared to white chocolate control, which has way less epicatechin. Now, they've recreated this with regular epicatechin. They've shown other studies reducing blood pressures in significant reductions, but obviously you get a lot of blood flow help from a bunch of different Merica products. So what about those other claims with epicatechin? Well, in terms of supporting muscle growth, in 2014, a pilot study showed that 1 milligram per kilogram of epicatechin given twice daily, which is roughly 175 milligrams of epicatechin per day, reduced myostatin levels by 16.6% and increased follistatin levels by 49.2%. Now, this is incredible because myostatin inhibits and regulates muscle growth, basically preventing us from growing too much. I know, ridiculous. Follistatin, however, regulates myostatin, preventing myostatin itself from getting out of control. And so this is a really important biological system to govern growth. And we've been working on downregulating it for some time. Now, in that brief pilot study, hand grip strength increased by 7% just after 1 week. Another arm of that study used mice, which had a 15% reduction in statin as well. But more recently, an 8-week study on seniors found that epicatechin combined with resistance training yielded better gains in strength on the leg press and chest press, as well as follistatin and follistatin/myostatin ratio. Now, those who were given epicatechin and resistance training outperformed resistance training alone, which is a variable that we do like to see. It is worth noting again, though, that these were seniors, and this type of study design is common in muscle growth stuff because you have to take someone who has a deficit of something and seeing if it fixes it. It's obviously easier to get results there than it is in a trained, young, healthy individual, but it's still worth noting. It's still worthy data to be looking at. It also improves endurance. There have been at least a couple of studies showing endurance capacity with similar amounts of epicatechin. It improves insulin sensitivity, and that's a big deal because we want our muscles to be insulin sensitive so that they can then pull in glycogen and perform more efficiently. And at 300 milligrams of total extract here, this is a great dosage. For a long time, we were at 200 milligrams, but with this standardization, we're looking at a quite healthy dose for pretty much anyone across the body weight range, since most of these studies were citing a very specific body weight dependent dose. Now, lastly, we have BioPerine here to boost uptake of ingredients. And piperine also has some metabolic qualities that should pair well with epicatechin due to upregulating GLUT4 transporter, which improves the body's ability to shuttle glucose into cells like muscles, kind of similar to the insulin sensitivity of epicatechin. Now, due to the epicatechin, we definitely recommend you take this pre-workout. Like I said, you don't have to, but it's a great idea. All in all, it's a simple product, but should deliver some interesting results. Mike's actually trying out Turkesterone right now. I've been kind of holding back on it just because I'm on TRT. I feel like I'm not the greatest candidate for it, but maybe I'll jump in on this one because it has some other benefits in it as well. As always, guys, I do have to say we got this product for free, and we do have a business affiliate relationship with Merica. But if you have any questions, you can leave them below, and I'd be happy to talk to you about the product. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.